Alright, if you guys have been following my channel for a while now, you guys know that I have promised this video to you guys. For the longest time, I told you that I was gonna do a carrier comparison video, and then with like the move and everything, it kind of just got pushed to the back burner. So initially what I wanted to do is I wanted to do like this big giant comparison video and kind of show you some of the carriers that I tried, that I didn't like. But instead what I decided to do is I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I'm not gonna waste your time with the carriers that I did not like. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you my top 3 favorite carriers. And that's these 3 right here that are on my bed. So this is the Lillebaby carrier that you guys see me use all the time in my videos. This is the baby Catan, and then this is the Boba wrap. So I'm gonna put all of these on. I'm gonna put Jackson in them. This is Jackson, by the way, if you guys are new here. He is 5 months old now. So I'm gonna show you guys what these look like with a baby in them, and then we'll kind of talk through some of the things that I like. Hopefully that'll give you an idea of like which carrier works best for you. I'm a huge carrier person. For like the first like 4 months of Jackson's life, he only slept in the carrier. I also have a toddler, if you guys are new here, by the way, who is 2.5, and so like I've got to do stuff, right? I've got to take care of the baby, take care of my toddler, and I find that having a carrier is such a good way to do that. So I'm gonna shut up, let's just get to it. I'm gonna put you guys on the tripod and then try these on. All right, so I'm gonna just like pick up my hair in a quick little bun, because otherwise between the carriers and him, like my hair is gonna get torn out. I'm gonna start off with the Lillebaby, and if you guys watch my channel, you guys have seen me put this on a million times. In terms of like ease of putting it on and taking it off, this is the easiest thing. I have had this carrier since Riley was born, since my daughter was born. This is the only carrier we used to have with Riley. And then once Jackson was born, we bought a couple more just to try some other ones out. But I love this thing, I use it all the time. So it has like this like little back support panel, which I find is great. Again, I have spent a lot of time wearing this. So all you have to do is take the front piece, make sure it's in the front, and then it's got the little arm straps. Usually when I'm gonna put it on, all I do is just put this belt part on first. It literally takes 2 seconds. This thing is not heavy at all. There's a little clip, just clip it on, and everything adjusts, by the way. So if you need more space or you need to make it tighter, you can. My husband has even used this carrier, so it definitely fits men too. And then all I'm gonna do is put the arm strap through. I'm gonna put Jackson in at this point because that's normally what I do. I grab my little baby, and I've used this carrier when he was even smaller than this. And then I loop his leg through this side, and then I loop the other leg just like on the other side of this bottom part. And then I put this arm through, and that's literally it. Then when you turn around, there's like a little clip back here that you clip. Then your baby is in the carrier. So this is super easy. What I also really like about this carrier is that there's clips here for this little head flap. So when he's taking his nap, he can kind of have that head support, and I can clip it on both sides. That's normally what I do, like if I want him to just take a little nap and I don't want to like have to be holding his head. But now that he's a little older, he doesn't really need that all the time, and sometimes I just kind of hold his head like this. And he likes to look around, like when he's not sleeping and I have him in the carrier, he doesn't like to be confined that way. So he just hangs out like this with mama. The other reason why I really like this carrier is because whenever I'm trying to get Jackson to go to sleep in the carrier, I always use this little portable sound machine. And what I like about this carrier is that like there's like a million places where you can kind of like loop the sound machine through and then just turn it on. And then your baby can like take a nap and you have the sound machine. It's nice to have like an easy place where you can clip that on, and it just helps him sleep better. I don't even know if I mentioned like the actual name, but this is like the Lillebaby All Seasons carrier, and I'm gonna put like the pricing, and all of these will be linked down below, by the way. I'm like the worst at telling you guys that. And I do also want to mention that this carrier, there are like a million different positions that your baby can sit in this carrier. Mostly I have used it this way just because Jackson is 5 months old now, and for the most part he's just always done like the little kangaroo facing in position. But as the babies get older, they can also face out. I'm pretty sure this one, you can also have them on your back. Like there's a million ways that you can use this carrier, which is one of the reasons why I purchased this in the first place. I wanted a carrier that could grow with my baby. And this one is definitely one that does that. I remember when Riley got older, we used to have her facing out. I'm sure I can find like a picture or something where it shows you like all the different positions that you can put your baby in with this carrier. So this is a great option. Again, when I'm ready to get him out of it, I literally just unclip the back. I go like that, and then I take the little arms out, I hold on to him, and then I place him wherever I need to place him, and then I just take off the belt part, and then that's it. I feel like this one does give me a lot of back support. It's not super like hot because we're initially from Miami, Florida, and that's another thing. I wanted a very breathable carrier. So this one has always been a huge favorite of mine. But if you're not a fan of like the more structured carriers, like that's what I would consider a structured carrier. A lot of people are fans of the baby wraps. There are two that I tried that I really liked this time around. I will tell you that I tried a sling wrap and I was not a fan of the slings. Like the ring slings, I tried it. It sat there for weeks. I was super scared of figuring it out. Like I tried one time and then I couldn't get it. There's a lot of material that has to be pulled and it just takes a lot to get it right. So I personally am not a fan of the ring slings. Sorry if you are or you were looking into one. But let's go on to the Boba wrap. So I wanted to try a wrap. It does come with like a little case for it. Like you can eventually like get it in here, which is nice. So you can put all of this material in here. These come in a bunch of different colors. I got black just so that it would like match with everything. What I really like about this wrap is the material, okay? The material of this wrap is super stretchy, and I'm not sure what you're gonna be able to see on camera, but it's very comfortable. I actually used this wrap when we flew on a plane, like when we moved from Miami to Virginia here. So when we were traveling and I was wearing Jackson on the plane, this is the wrap that I used and it was so comfortable. The one thing that I really don't like about these wraps is that there's a lot of material, okay? So like this thing is very, 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 very long, okay? And I'm not a fan of that just because I feel like it's just like gonna end up being all over the place. It kind of gets dirty and then there's a possibility that you can trip on it. Like there's a lot of material here. That's definitely like the con of this one. I'm not a fan of that, but it is a really great wrap, so I kind of like forgive it for that. But that's one of the things that you want to keep in mind when you're having like a wrap like this. Originally I was very intimidated on trying to figure out how to wrap my baby in this. Again, I'm pretty sure that there are different positions that you can use these in. I have only used one position that I will show you, but once you get the hang of it, like once you watch a couple tutorials, like it's really not that bad. It's actually pretty easy. So you start off by finding the little tag that says Boba, and you're gonna put this like right on your like waist, like right under here. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring the fabric up behind you. So you're kind of trying to get all that fabric to like cross in the back of you. And mind you, there's a bunch of fabric on the floor right now. So that's one of the things that I don't like. So what you're gonna do is you're trying to crisscross it. So I've got some fabric and what I'm essentially trying to do is crisscross it in the back. And I'm trying to find the best way to show you how to do that. So I'm holding on to the fabric, holding on to the sides, and I'm bringing these up, kind of like wings. I'm bringing them up over my shoulders, just like that. And again, I'm not a professional wrap wearer, okay? So do not judge my wrapping skills. So I've got these two flaps here, and what I'm gonna do is I am going to cross them in front of me. And I'm basically making like a pocket where Jackson is gonna sit. So I'm creating an X in front of me, and then I'm taking the material and I'm doing the same thing again, trying to cross it behind me. And then I'm gonna like kind of make a belt. I'm gonna kind of take this and just make a belt on my side. So I'm gonna like make a little belt, and then I'm gonna kind of just make an extra little knot here on the side. And so I have like an X in front of me, I have a little knot on the side. There's still a lot of material, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see, but it's not quite dragging on the floor. I'm 5'3", so I'm tiny, and so I'm not very tall. I'm trying to like pull down my sweater because that's one of the things that happens. It's like whatever you're wearing under kind of tends to like ride up when you have the wrap on. But if you have extra material, you can always just do another knot and just get that material up. You can kind of just do a bow or whatever you need to do. All right, so when I'm gonna put Jackson in, what I'm looking for is like you have an X in the material. I'm gonna look for the part of the X that is closest to my body, and I'm gonna put his leg through that one first. So I'm looking for the flap that's closest to my body, and I'm putting his leg through that flap. And then I'm taking the other X and putting his leg through that flap. So now that is gonna kind of support his back. So now he has like two pieces of material to support his back, right? He's in that little X. And now what I'm gonna do is there's a bottom piece down here, fabric, that I can use to pull up over his back again. So again, it's been a little while since I used this one. You can obviously see that it's a little bit more difficult than the quick, easy carrier. But essentially, he's gonna be in a little pocket that looks like this. And again, maybe it's not 100% perfect, but it definitely does the job, right? My hands are free. He is nice and secure here. You can also like move these sleeves a little bit closer to your neck if you need that extra support. But this, in a nutshell, is more or less what this wrap is gonna look like. In terms of the baby's comfort, especially when they're younger, that they wanna be like really, really close to you, I feel like this is a great option. I feel like they're closer to you, they smell you better. I don't know, there's a lot of people that are big fans of the wraps, and I can see why. These wraps, I will tell you though, are also easier to like sit down with. Like when I'm in the structured carrier, it's a little harder for me to sit down with because it's a little bulkier and it's just a little bit more like material and harder pieces of fabric that I'm kind of having to sit down with. This I can sit down super easily in. I kind of have it a little bit crooked, and again, I was trying to do it in the viewfinder, so I didn't have like a mirror to look at, but this is what he should look like. He is very comfy. It's nice and tight against mama. So really, I use this more like if I'm traveling, if it's the kind of thing where like I'm gonna be out and about, maybe I go to an event or something where I just want to be wearing him like the whole day, and I want him to be comfortable. I want him to be able to sleep really comfortably in it. This is a good option for that. When I've used this carrier in the past with him and I've been trying to get him to sleep and I want to use like the little sound machine, I'll turn on the sound machine, and then what I'll do is I'll kind of stick it in like one of the little pockets here. Not as comfortable as with the other one since like it's kind of up against his back, but the little pocket is somewhere where you can like just put a little sound machine like that. And then when I go to take him out of it, I just kind of take these sleeve parts out first. That's usually what I'll do. And then I hold him and then I place him back wherever I need to place him. He comes out super easily. And then I just undo this, but again, like there's a lot of fabric here and it just takes a bit for me to take it off. One thing I will tell you is like when I was using this a little bit more often, if I was gonna spend the day with him wearing the wrap, I would just like leave the wrap on for like several hours. So instead of every time that he's done napping or every time that he's done in there, like taking this out and having to fold it and taking out all the material and do the wrap again, like I would just leave it on. So I would do that whole process like in the morning, and then once he was done, I would just take him out and I would leave it on and walk around with it at my house. Like it was still comfortable. It wasn't like this thing that I felt like, you know, I needed to get it off of me. It was comfortable enough that I could spend a couple hours in it, and then I didn't have to like do it every single time I wanted him back in. So now that I'm winded from all of that, I'm gonna show you the last one. And this is the baby katan. The baby katan, I feel, is like a very good combination of both of those, and here's why. So the baby katan is, I guess, like a wrap. Like it's obviously cloth material, very soft, but it just has two little pieces and that's it, okay? Definitely not as much material as the Boba wrap, and it's still nice and lightweight. And what I like is that the katan kind of does a lot of that wrapping work for you. So it already has like an X in the back. I don't know if you guys can see that. It already has like this little loop that kind of makes some of that wrapping process a lot quicker for you. There are different sizes in the katan. This one is in an extra small. I could have definitely done a small if I wanted a little bit more space, but the extra small worked just fine for me when I was using this with him. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. So I would take this so that the loop is over here, and I would put this behind my neck. And then what I would do is I would take one of them, cross my arms in here, the other one, cross my arms in here. So I do have to take a little bit of time to make sure that this is kind of like straightened out, like the fabric is straightened out, because it's gonna make it a lot easier to put your baby in. And I don't know if you can see on the back, like the loop is in the back like that. So this is what it looks like when you have this piece on, and maybe it's not perfect again, but I don't know if you remember when I was talking about with the Boba wrap that you're creating an X and you're basically creating like little pockets. The pockets here, I have, you see like one X that's close to my body, and I have one piece of the X that's like on the outside of my body. That's already done for me. So now all I have to do is put Jackson in. So again, I'm gonna look for the pocket that is closest to my body, and that's this one over here. And I'm gonna put his leg through that one, and then kind of create like a little hammock here for his butt, and kind of make sure that the material goes over him. And again, there's a little bit of twisting that happens, so you wanna make sure that it's as not twisted as possible. And then I'm gonna take the other X that wasn't as close to my body, and I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna put his leg through there, and again, kind of make this a hammock for the other part of his back and his butt. And then put his little arm through here, So now he's in a little cocoon in here, and this is what it looks like in the back, just so you guys can see. And now, like, I don't know if you remember with the Boba, there was like a little black flap that I kind of put on like over this just to make it extra secure. That's what this piece of fabric is for. So you take this and you just basically wrap it under his butt, just like that. Cross it behind your back, and then you take it and you tie it. You can tie it right there, and then that is it. Now your baby is in a nice little wrap, and it's still a cloth material. As far as like ease of use and all of that, I prefer this one over the Boba because, like you saw, it was a lot easier to put on. It still is lightweight. I think it's a great option. The only thing I don't like as much about the Katan versus the Boba is that the material itself is not as stretchy. So I don't feel like it's as comfortable, but like for everyday use, I think that this is a great wrap. I used it a bunch with Jackson, and the same kind of concept with the sound machine. I used to take this, turn it on, and then this little flap back here, I would just put the sound machine there and then just rock him and get him to go to sleep. So I think with all of them you can put a sound machine. Again, I think they all have their pros, they all have a few cons, so you have to kind of figure out how often you're going to use these and what setting you're going to use them and which one you think is the best. I honestly feel very blessed that I have a few to choose from and that I was able to kind of figure out which one worked best for me at different points in time. But in a nutshell, those are our 3 carriers that we really like. How are you? Hi. Look at his hair standing up. It's so funny. All right, so that's gonna be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know that it was a long time coming. I know that it took me a while to get this to you, so I'm sorry for that. I hope that this gave you a little insight into a few different carrier options, the ones that we like the most, and then just some of the pros and cons of each of them. But regardless of what you choose, I do highly recommend some kind of carrier, okay? Because it just makes your life so much easier. Like today, I made the bed while I was wearing Jackson in the Lillebaby, and I was just getting some chores done. I fold laundry sometimes when I'm wearing him. So I think that a baby carrier is definitely like one of those like baby essentials that I highly recommend. So yeah, everything will be linked down below in the description box. If you guys purchase through my links, I get a small commission, which I am eternally grateful for. So thank you so much for supporting me and the channel. Like, it just helps so much. But that's it. I'm gonna get this little guy out of the carrier. I'm sure he's over it, and we're gonna go outside and play with Riley. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.